Okay, so fitting the snorkel on the 4Runner has solved the engine intake problem, or possible problem, but the differential breather is still pretty low on the 4Runner, so I'm going to have to do a breather extension. And my 4Runner also has an electric lock, a diff lock, and the E-Lock has its own breather as well. So $35 later off Amazon, I get a kit, and you get some like snake bite push, you know, the standard like plastic pipe push lock connectors, some 8mm standard pipe. I mean, all of this is the sort of stuff for home irrigation, so it's not rocket science. So you could make this kit together up out of stuff from Home Depot or wherever. Little manifold, which you wouldn't get from Home Depot, and a little filter, which you could use any filter, I guess. So what I'm going to do, I purchased another little T-pipe, and I'm going to cut into the E-Lock pipe, and I've got an inline connector from an irrigation, and that fits into this perfectly, and it will fit into the pipe from the E-Lock. That will then go to my little T-piece, and then down to the diff, and then off to the engine bay, where it will plug into this, and we'll screw this on the engine bay. So pretty simple, very cheap solution. I don't think this is going to take me very long to fit, so let's get on with it. So as you can see, not much clearance between the diff and the ground, probably a foot, and the breather for that diff is just here, right there. So if the diff's warm and it suddenly goes into some cool water, the oil in it will contract and it wants some air inside, so it'll suck in water from there. And to make it worse, this diff has an E-Locker, an electronic lock, diff lock, and the breather for that is here. So what we're going to have to do is disconnect this breather, disconnect that breather, and run a pipe from those to the front and up into the engine bay, so that it's well up and out of the water. So we have a very convenient M6 hole here, so I've drilled another little hole next to it. I'm going to put a thread insert in that. Yeah, a lot better than that rubbish self-tapping screw they were going to put in there. I hate those things. So now and just screw that in there, and screw this in here. These are nice stainless steel screws, nice stainless steel thread insert. I've blanked off the other 3 holes in this block, so that we've only got the one down below for the pipe. Probably a little bit over-engineered to screw that on there like that, but the screw was already there. The screw hole was already there, so I might as well use it. Perfect. Look at that. I'm guessing, I mean, screw that tight with that, probably 1 would have done enough, but 2's better. Get the piping, run it down there, being careful not to get it in the way of the exhaust. You don't want this anywhere near the exhaust, it will melt it. feed this along here. And after that, I don't want to feed it on it. I want to feed it on the outside. No, I think it's okay. Breather on top of the diff is a 14mm spanner, so we're going to just, or wrench as they call it here in America, just take that off. Now there's no, I've already cleaned all around it, so there's not going to be any dirt or debris dropping in the diff. Come on. So pulled the breather out, and there was a big hiss as it let pressure out, so it obviously wasn't venting. This is a bit crap. So let's put my pipe fitting in. So I've already put some PTFE tape on the threads. So I'm going to screw that into there. And I'll just wrench that up. Okay, I'll just cut a bit off of this. Nice sharp knife. I'm using this little inline join here, which fits perfectly on that. I'm going to just pull the breather off of this pipe and then insert my little inline joint into it. That then can clip back into its normal clip. I've got my T-piece. I'm going to fit that on there, a nice push in, and it goes click. And then I'm going to get another piece. Now the diff, of course, is going to move up and down, so I want to put a loop in this so that it allows the axle to tramp up and down. So I'm going to make quite a nice little loop. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to fit that in the T-piece. See, I want that over the top, don't I? Let's just do that. Into the T-piece. And then the main line into the T-piece, and that's going to come across this cross member. I'm going to tie it on and then tie it all the way along there. Bring that up under there. Just try not to kink this pipe. Don't want to kink it. And then bring it round and push it up into that until it clicks like that. That's a slight click. Now get the filter. You can see where I've tied it to the main frame, and then I've run it on top of the main frame all the way down to the back, tying it with tie wrap all the way. So runs on top of there, and then on top of there, so it's well away from the exhaust. I've got one tie wrap there, and it comes along that cross member, and I have my nice loop there, so the axle allows the axle to move up and down, and the T-piece and the E-Lock breather. So all done. Well, that wasn't too bad. Time for a beer though. It was 104 outside yesterday, but fortunately it's only 98 today, so it wasn't too hot under the car. So here are the two breathers. This was from the E-Lock and that was from the Diff. I'm a little bit concerned that when I took this out there was a loud hiss of air escaping, which means that this thing wasn't working. So that would have caused damage to my shaft seals and everything, so it was good to get this out. So it was what, 20-minute job, well worth doing. So if you're going to fit a snorkel, or you think you're going to be going through any sort of deep water, or I mean that Diff breather is only this far off the ground, bearing in mind, fit a Diff breather extension. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.